guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to react to Filipinos Who Made PINOYS Proud episode 3. So I have reacted to the past 2 episodes and you guys seem really enjoyed, and I am enjoying it as well because I'm just learning so much more than just about music from Philippines side. I think that even in the second episode it was a bit emotional when I see these people to succeed and like get these medals and just these places that they've ever been fighting for like their life to get there at that point. So yeah, I mean, I really enjoy that. So I cannot wait to see what is in this episode 3 and what kind of aspect of Filipinos career-wise there will be. So yeah, I mean, without further ado, I also want to say I will not stop in this video probably because it's a 30-minute long episode on Casual Jack. Also go subscribe to him if you haven't already because he does amazing job with these episodes. And yeah, I mean, yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it.
Just think like Efren and then you'll be all right.
Well, Reyes, what can you say? His mind was like Einstein's, you know? He had the greatest ability to think and see a shot that no one else could see.
The zigzag shot.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Do you believe he was going to make that shot?
I thought he was, I'm sure he was just trying to hit it, and he made it, but the way he kicked at it, he had another way to kick at the ball, and I still to this day don't understand why he kicked that way. He could have kicked the other way. But he kicked the way he could win.
Yes, he did.
Okay, so
A head scratcher, but a genius.
Oh, that's like a real good looking.
what was
Toothless,
that?
but the most dangerous.
Yes, baby.
His legend was so famous that some aspiring pool players had all their teeth removed just to replicate his success.
Nag-decision ako nung yun na magpabunot din ng ngipin para masabing talaga ni na talagang hawig na parang Efren din.
And I guess it worked. Meet the magician, Efren Bata Reyes. He was born and raised in Pampanga. He's the 5th child among 9 siblings. It was quite a big family to keep afloat, so at age 5, his dad brought him along to Manila to have a better income to support them. Efren was a shy kid growing up and struggled to interact with kids his age, so instead of playing outside, he worked as a spotter and a janitor at his uncle's billiards hall called Lucky 13. He made it his home as he
so
played
he's
billiards
doing
all
this
day
from
and slept on the
childhood.
pool table every night. This is when he started gambling at a very young age. He was so young that he was too short to reach the pool table, so he would stack some coke cases just to make some of his shots. This was when he got the nickname Bata to distinguish him from an older Efren who also played pool in their hall. As Efren continued playing, he kept rapidly improving until he beat every player in their hall. So at age 21, his uncle started bringing him along to bigger money matches. The Hustler movie was very popular at the time, so gambling at different pool halls was a thing and Efren was beating everybody. There was a time when he went to Clark Air Base to literally farm dollars from American soldiers. And because of this, his name had become a terror in pool halls and he started running out of opponents. So his income from gambling
that's
started to
just-
run dry. He had no choice but to work for a local comic printing press which paid him only 90 pesos or $2 a month. Obviously, he wasn't satisfied with how much he was making, so in just less than a year, he went right back into playing billiards. In 1975, Efren started planning a trip to the US to play against American pool players. But an American sports writer apparently had been taking notice of him while he was beating everybody. This writer went back to the US and informed their best pool players that a new threat is emerging. His name is Efren Reyes. Because of this, the Americans were able to scout him and found out
I
about
love
his
how these
reputation.
journeys
So this
unravel
ruined
and just
Efren's plan to hustle American players for
how
money.
it starts
For those who are
out.
confused, hustling is kind of similar to smurfing in video games. It's like a mythic player playing in the Grandmaster rank in Mobile Legends to farm easy wins. In Efren's case, he wanted to farm wins which translate into dollars to support his family. In order to counter that
Also,
obstacle,
how can you
he
live
decided
for
to take
$2
one
a
alias,
month?
Cesar
You can't,
Morales.
right? That's not a thing.
This allowed him to play everybody in the US and beat every one of them, billiard hall after billiard hall. He left a trail of destruction, leaving each opponent demoralized, not knowing what hit them. Like, I swear, his story almost sounds like a backstory of an OP anime sensei who looks like a joke but when in action, transforms into some kind of a forbidden folklore beast. Anyway, his hustling days continued in the 80s until he discovered the big money tournaments. He entered under his alias and went on to win his first ever tournament as Cesar Morales. This gained him instant fans. But when he was asked to sign one of those autographs, he accidentally exposed his identity because he subconsciously wrote his real name. And because of this, his hustling days were over, so he focused on playing and dominating tournaments under his real name. He quickly earned the nickname The Magician because of his aggressive style of play and shot selections that no one, even the greatest pool players, dared to attempt, especially in high-pressure situations.
Efren，这更高级，这更高级。
How
Attempting
can
good
you...
shots is
oh,
one
wow.
thing, but making them consistently just puts the man in a league of his own.
Watch the 9. Look at the 9! Look at the 9! What a shot!
Just like this one.
How can you
Was
plan
just
something like that?
bystanders.
That is
Younger professional
insane.
Players playing pool were taking too long in planning their next shot, so they handed over the cue stick to Efren. They had no idea that Efren already saw the shot from a mile away. He did it
How
with his
can you
bag on
know
his back
these
and a hanky
angles?
on his hand. Here are more examples.
So Efren looking up. Oh, whoa! Shock! Efren, Bata, Reyes.
Like you have to see angles, like you literally... Like this is insane. You literally have to see like degrees, and I don't understand how.
Aside from these amazing shots,
The
Efren is
balls
also
can,
the
like,
author of
swirl
the
in, like,
greatest shot in pool
circles.
history. He was playing against one of the greatest pool players at the time, Earl Strickland. The match was very close as they were tied at 12 racks each in a race to 13 match. Whoever wins the rack becomes the champion. Strickland did the break to pocket the 2 ball, then attempted to pull off a safety play, hiding the 1 ball behind the 7 and 8 ball, but he failed to do so Efren took advantage. He then handled business as usual.
Ooh, does he hit these shots good? Perfectly hit.
But not until the 5 ball became the object ball.
A little bit. Just a little bit, I said. What? He didn't have to do that. You see what I'm talking about?
That's right. Now,
Why did he do that?
He got himself into trouble because the 6 ball was slightly blocking it. But instead of doing a safety play, Efren did this.
oh no, he didn't. Watch the 8. Watch the 8.
Oh my goodness.
Strickland said,
Oh
okay, you
my
can have that ball.
goodness.
An impressive shot for sure, but this wasn't the greatest shot I was talking about because this shot has gotten him into an even bigger trouble. This is the cue ball, and this is the object ball. All 3 other balls are blocking every option Efren had, so attempting a safety play, let alone hitting the object ball, was virtually impossible. But despite the predicament, Efren would proceed to leave his mark by pulling off the greatest shot ever made in the history of billiards. The iconic Z shot. People
Like he
find this
visually
really
probably
cool in
like
his
just
opponent.
sees like lines how it
Efren
like
didn't
will
even
go.
have the chance to finish the rack because his legendary shot obliterated all the hope that was left in Strickland's body as he proceeded to surrender shortly after that.
No wonder you asked me to do this.
What a finish. and I really had to...
This got Efren his 3rd straight championship win in the Sands Regency Open, solidifying his case as one of the greatest pool players to have ever lived. What I like the most about
I mean, I
Efren
have
is
never
that
seen
opponents
anyone
insist
play
he
like
remained
that.
humble. While some opponents would flex on him,
I'm breaking the balls very well, so that's good for me. I've been playing pool 40 years. I feel like I'm playing perfect. I feel good. I feel very comfortable. It just looks like a one-man show. You know, that's why this game is the toughest game on the planet.
he'd usually just respond with humility.
Well, I feel nervous now because I don't know if I'm playing good or I'm playing bad. I need lucky to play.
And then proceeds to give his opponent a high-quality billiard seminar.
Yeah, you like this so far, huh? Yeah, looks
Basketball, there is MJ. In billiards, there is Efren. In bowling,
Yeah.
There is Paeng.
Ang Pinoy bowling legend na si Paeng Nepomuceno. Pinakamaraming 10-pin bowling title sa buong mundo.
And like where I'm coming from, I don't think that's even a thing, like to play billiard or bowling, where like people are that good that they're like globally known.
He's considered by many as a sports GOAT, greatest of all time.
Rafael Paeng Nepomuceno was born and raised in Quezon City. His dad was a bowling coach, but he first fell in love with the sport of golf, and he was even doing great competitively. On one fateful rainy day, young Paeng forgot to bring his umbrella, so he
knows what he's doing.
Stepped off his shot on most occasions.
The man literally proved that looks can be deceiving.
Title-winning shot coming up right now. It's on its way, and there it is.
Like it like spins in.
That he was looking for, and the sign of a man who says, "I'm number one." And those fans who've made it all the way here from the Philippines know that they are looking at the world champion for the third time in his career. Paeng Nepomuceno comes through on the wire and steals it in the tent. Grabowski threw the title away.
Paeng would then go on to continue dominating the sport for a total of 4 decades, as he would win a total of 6 world championships and hold a total of 4 world records, making him the undisputed GOAT in the sport. He carried our flag since day one, making his entire nation proud. But pride never got into his head.
Now listen, you've got the 4th
That's
champion,
good.
the World Cup title. Are you going to come back for number 5?
I don't know. It all depends on the Lord, because I have to give credit to God.
You're very moved, obviously, and so are we. Congratulations.
Okay.
To this day,
So
he's still
simple.
active in the sport as the only Asian coach to have the USBC gold level certification, and continues to hone the skills of the younger generation. But Paeng's generation is just one of a kind, because another phenom was also wreaking havoc in the different department, the world of speed.
Speed.
Lydia Diay de Vega was born and raised in Maykawayan, Bulacan. In her childhood, she rarely became the it when playing tag with friends because she was just too fast. This got the attention of their school's athletic coaches, so she got invited to train to compete in the sport of track and field. Lydia's dad was a cop, so he was very strict with her, so she kept her training in secret until her dad started noticing her getting tired more often, which led to him finding out about it. Her tatang then gave her a condition that he would only allow her to compete if he coaches her himself. Lydia agreed, so not long after, she started dominating the sport by winning her first 2 gold medals in the 1981 SEA Games in both the 200 and 400 meter dash. This got her
Well, did you
qualified
see
to
how
compete
she
in the 1982 Asian Games.
took
This is
over?
where the big names compete, including the favorite to win the event, India's well-known speed powerhouse, PT Usha.
あと10メーターにかかりました。宇田1着でゴールイン3冠達成。続いてクリシンカル第3位に日本の磯崎が入りました。タイムは52秒18です。
But our hungry 18-year-old Lydia was unfazed by the pressure.
My God, like
At
that's
first, Lydia seems to
nerve-wracking.
be falling behind in the 5th place right before Usha. But on the 50-meter mark, Lydia shifted gears and went pedal to the metal, pulling off the upset and gaining her first ever Asian Games gold medal at a very young age, dethroning Usha in the process.
Watch right here, but lead to the Vega now by a commanding lead over PT Usha. She will win this.
She's like a runner.
Is this kid?
Check this out.
That's amazing. And this is just mind-boggling. How can you?
So clean.
If you enjoy anime-like backstories, then look no further than Carlos Adriel Yulo. He was born and raised in Malate, Metro Manila. Their house was close to Rizal Memorial Sports Complex, so he grew up watching Filipino gymnasts training and competing there. So it was only natural for him to take the same path. He trained every day at a very young age, and it paid off as he won most of his competitions in minor leagues. He kept training until he became a teenager despite the country's inferior facilities and minimal athlete support. That's until he met the Japanese gymnastic coach Munehiro Kugimiya. He was sent to the Philippines by the Japan Gymnastics Association to train overseas athletes with good potential. On Coach Kugimiya's first visit, he immediately noticed the disadvantages of Carlos' training conditions.
休みの日は休みの日だって考えもすごい強いですし、
He
時間にもルーズだし、やっぱこの時間から始めて集まるのが最初の時は2時間後ぐらいですよね、開始の時間。
It kinda hurts hearing this from a coach, but I cannot disagree because it does happen. Maybe it's the reason why this diving team flopped in the 2015 SEA Games.
Philippine diving team, they're having a rough go at it to start off with. Everything got started
Oh,
with
no.
diver John Helmerson from Riga earned a 0 for his routine, which exactly go as planned as he landed on his back. And then his teammate Josh David
That must be so painful.
in a similar fashion by not completing the rotation on his dive and going in knee
I don't know what
first.
he actually like. What can you think after that happens?
Sheesh, they were the literal Splash Brothers. Anyway, Coach Kugimiya didn't want Carlos' potential to be wasted, so he offered him to train in Japan. Carlos grabbed the opportunity, but he never realized how hard it would become for him. He left his family in the Philippines and started living together with Coach Kugimiya in a small apartment while studying high school at Tokyo University. This is a school where most elite student athletes go. Carlos was only on his second year. He struggled in school because he suddenly had to learn to both read and write in Japanese. To accelerate his improvement, Carlos' coach
that's
required him to write
task on its
entries in
own.
his diary on a daily basis. He studied during the daytime and spent the rest of his free time training with his coach. Our young Carlos obviously got culture shocked, so he started showing some signs of demotivation. He would make mistakes he normally wouldn't and fall down more often than usual. Coach Kugimiya's very strict training approach wasn't helping either.
Focus が going to what again you doing like this でば The going to big injury if you don't do that there また考えないでやってんの Without thinking Don't just training
Carlos' diary entries never talked about his feelings, so Coach Kugimiya had no clue about what to do with him anymore. It was so bad that there was a point when Carlos told him that he wanted to quit.
Lumapit po ako sa coach ko, naiyak po ako. Sabi ko na, magkikwit na ako coach.
The coach was at his wit's end, so he decided to pull off one more trick to motivate Carlos. He brought him to an all-Japan national gymnastics competition. Coach Kugimiya was one of the judges there, and one of the competitors is Japan's Olympic gold medalist, Kenzo Shirai. This guy is considered as one of the greatest young gymnasts of today.
Reigning floor champion Shirai put in a reigning champion performance on the floor, his 16.133 helping Japan secure gold for the first time since 2004.
He holds 2 Guinness World Records as the youngest gymnast to ever win a gold medal on a world stage at 17, and the only human being to have pulled off a salto backward stretch with quadruple twist, or known today as the Shirai. Yes, it was named after him along with 5 other great moves he invented himself. The dude was an absolute genius. He rightfully earned the nickname Mr. Twister, and I'm not even surprised about it. Watching Kenzo perform and win seemed to have made Carlos uneasy. He might have just realized that he still had a long way to go. But in that day's diary entry, he never talked about quitting. Instead, he wrote about his admiration for Kenzo's talent. He started writing about his feelings, which was kind of unusual for him. The next day, he showed up early in the gym and wrote his own training plan without being told by his coach. He seemed to have found a new source of motivation. Later that year, Carlos competed in the 2018 World Artistic
sometimes you
Gymnastics
need that little
Championship
push.
in Doha, Qatar. And guess what? One of his opponents was Mr. Twister himself, Kenzo Shirai. He performed first and of course lived up to his nickname.
The reigning world champion on this apparatus from Japan, Kenzo Shirai. Oh, and the triple twisting double tuck.
Like that is insane.
He twists so quickly.
Yeah, like how can you even count how many times he twists?
2.5.
Like you need a slow motion camera for that.
Front. And that's a quadruple twisting somersault. Deep breath. Focus on the task at hand. 3.5 twists. Followed by the full twisting front. So difficult. And a triple twist to finish. You have time to spare. That was Kenzo Shirai.
Such a terrifying way to establish immense pressure. They can only imagine what Carlos was feeling at that moment because he's the next one to perform.
And what a moment for this youngster.
Oh my god, imagine to go after that.
From Philippines, just 18 years of age, his first year as a senior. Small gymnast, but he packs a punch.
The announcer said that because Carlos only stands at 4'11". While Kenzo is known for his twists, Carlos shines with his power and elevation.
Double pike half. Beautiful
Whoa.
fight.
Just take a look at that height. Dude is literally a living trampoline.
That was high. Yeah.
Oh. Just holding it together there on the combination. Oh, 3.5 half. That was lovely. Tidy in the air. Fast in the twist. Now the arms coming out to show control. Full twisting front, double twisting front. Excellent awareness. Quick glance at the scoreboard. How much time has he got? He's got this 10 seconds. That's no penalty for time. That's a triple twist to finish. He's clenching the floor with his toes. What a talent this young man is. The score coming in, 14.6. He moves into the silver medal position.
Carlos' effort apparently wasn't enough, and his silver medal would then become bronze because Russia's Artur de la Loyan would beat Kenzo's score, dethroning him in the process.
Straight front, double pike front, lovely control.
I mean, that was clean.
Double twisting, double tuck. There's lovely style in his movement. 2.5 twist, double twisting front. Locking the feet together.
How do you even start to do these things? Like, how do you find out that you
Carlos'
get
bronze
to
medal finish
do
wasn't
things like
perfect
that?
for sure, but it still made him the first Filipino and Southeast Asian gymnast to have ever won a medal on a world stage. He kept competing and training after the event
For the
until it
first
was
time.
time for another shot the following year. The 2019 World Artistic Gymnastics Championships in Stuttgart, Germany. Kenzo Shirai didn't make it to the competition because of an ankle injury. But the guy who beat them, Artur de la Loyan, was there. But surprisingly, he was a non-factor in the competition as he only finished 4th.
However, we still have Artur de la Loyan to go. He's got a pretty good record at the World Championship.
Oh, but there he lost his form slightly.
The guy who became a problem though was Israel's Artem Dolgopia.
Powerful, powerful tumbler.
Oh, look at that. Starts with a handspring double front with
And he
1.5
looks
twist.
tall.
You don't see many of those. And again,
Or something like that.
Oh, fantastic work from Artem Dolgopia.
He showcased a balance of power and technique, which gave him a score that is high enough to warrant an early celebration from the crowd and his team, because it was even higher than the score of last year's reigning champion. But you guys might have already heard of the saying, never count a Filipino out.
Now the
national anthem of Philippines.
And just at 19 years old. Oh, Efren. You guys must be proud of so many people are carrying your name out in the world. In such a specific niches as well.
Woof! What a ride this video has been. Imagine if Carlos really quit back then. None of this would have ever happened. And this is why he is
Yeah.
always very grateful to his coach.
Wala po ako ngayon dito sa harap niyo kung hindi po dahil din sa kanya.
So what did we learn from their stories? For me, it's their unrelenting guts and determination. They did not win just because they are Filipinos. They won because they put in the work. They went through loss, pain, and
Yeah,
insurmountable
they worked.
obstacles. They had the choice to make those things become the reason for their failure, but instead, they made it become the reason for their success. And that's what makes them Filipino. So what about you? Are you here to just listen to Filipino success stories? Or decide to become the story?
You guys, this is just so like cool to see, and like it's just so inspiring to see so many people in different type of like disciplines and area in life to like work their absolute like butt off to get where they wanna be and the dream is. And like in some of them you have to like sometimes being pulled back and like show others to like regenerate your like, I don't know, excitement, but like the willpower of yourself to like push yourself like further and be like, yeah, you can do that, you can do this and you can do that. You just have to put the work into it. And yeah, I at the beginning I said like I don't know what kind of career like aspects this episode will entail. I never thought about billiard, about bowling, about like gymnastics or anything. I was like, okay, we'll see what this like holds and like what is gonna be shown in this episode. But like, wow, like hats out to those people, because that is so much work. That's years of work. And yeah, and the fact that you can find your thing that you want to do for life at a very early age, I think for some people that's a really big key to just like keep going and already be good at like very very young age and start to compete and like grow in like on a bigger scale than other people might be at that age. So I mean, for me, it just inspires me to do better and do like not more but like more precise things and what I want to do in my life. So what do you guys think of these episodes? Does this inspire you to like better your own life, better your own journey, and like puts like perspective in your mind, be like, okay, maybe I have been like falling off like at some point, so let's get back onto it. And just if they can do it, I can do it. Like we all have 24 hours a day, so let's figure out something here. Yeah, I mean, very inspiring, really loved it. Thank you so much for asking for me to react to this episode. And I think there's one more or two more, I'm not quite sure, but I will definitely will be watching those as well. So yeah guys, if there's anything else this type of way, please let me know in the comments down below, because I will surely look through it and possibly will react to it with you. So yeah, but other than that, I will see you next time. See ya.